just to add to that, even if you're not in a position of power, you as an individual, as you mentioned, right, there's always something you could develop within yourself, right? Something you might not be able to teach something at a certain point in time, or not you might not be able to teach yet, right? But you teaching yourself in a sense, educating yourself and really developing this vessel that you're contained within, right? So as to benefit people in the future is something that I don't see a lot of, I would say, right? Like you said, it's just a bunch of complainings of, well, leaders are not doing this and leaders not doing that. Well, at least he got to that position of power, through whatever means, right? He exerted effort, whether it was the right kind of effort or the wrong type of effort, but he exerted effort to get himself in that position of power, So why not exert the same or a similar amount of effort in order to get yourself in such a position to where you can effect the change that you want to see? And I think that's really important. And just last but not least, I think one thing we perhaps didn't stress on is the language aspect. I feel like someone like myself, right? I have to be absolutely honest. And you mentioned this as well, right? Where the mother tongue, right? My mother's tongue is Manikakan, right? From the Manika tribe, right? I'm not very fluent in in my mother tongue, right? Like if I was to sit in a gathering and they were to ask me to make the dua, for example, I would have to recite it off memory. I can't come up on the spot and just make du'as that fit the occasion perfectly. I can do a little bit, but just not to the extent that is satisfactory. In terms of the language, I feel like a lot of the expatriates, African expatriates or members of the diaspora who have spent a good amount of time abroad, right? One of the things we should really invest in is the language aspect, because we can't expect to go back to go back to Cameroon, right, where the official language is French, yes, right, and then you have a bunch of ethnic or tribal languages, right? You can't expect to go back to French with just English, right, and then be walking around with a translator, and stuff like that. That'd be weird, You go to your mom's village, and then you have a translator sitting next to you who is translating all these very important words that you would be seen as an outsider. So I think language is something we should all invest in. That is an advice, firstly, to myself, right, and to everyone out there who might be considering thinking to themselves, where should I start, and what are some of these basic tools I should have going back home. Language is very important, I believe. Definitely.
No, I agree with you, because it's not hard, bro. I mean, of course, even if we don't speak it fluently, like I told you, now with internet, there's so many things on YouTube. Like for me on Sundays, what I usually do, I just play, video or audios of maybe movies or comedy or maybe speech in Fulfulde, just to listen to it, because also getting used to how people speak it, how they pronounce it's very useful. We may not speak as fluent as they speak, but at least when we get used to how it sounds, it helps us. So for me, it's not late. Just continue doing your research. We need to preserve our culture, and that is what creates our identity, actually. So we need to work on that. I particularly agree with you on this point.
That's amazing. That's good to hear. So that's pretty much some of the I think that the discussion was overall very very beneficial. We spoke about some of your personal experiences, coming from the African continent, right? Different parts of it. You said you lived, and then moving into a completely different side of the world, Southeast Asia, Malaysia in particular, right? We spoke thereafter about some of these challenges or the setbacks that you faced. And then we spoke about how you managed to overcome some of these problems, through perseverance, through developing a sense of patience, right? And understanding and just accepting differences, And then we went on to some of these lessons that you've learned, right? And you told us a story about, what was the story? not the lady at the airport, this other story of the bus. Yeah, the man on the bus.
The man on the bus.
So I think through these incidents, like the bus incident, I'm sure is something that just sticks, at the back of your head, and you'll probably be there until the end of time. Very important. And last but not least, we spoke about the role of Africans, that live abroad currently, or those that are perhaps intending to travel abroad, or those intending to come back to the country. Those are three different Africans at three different stages of their lives, but they all have the same objective, right? Hopefully, which is really to get back to the continent and give it their all. The continent that they originated from, and so it's only right that you give a piece of yourself to the place that you belong to. That is a good way of looking at it. Iddi, a lot of gems over there. Do you have any final words to say before we wrap this up?
For me, I just want to quote something I've always heard from a motivational speaker, and he usually says, "It is not the movement of the clock that produces the newness of life; it is the movement in our mind." And that is very deep. Why do I say so? We need to work on our mindset. We need to invest in ourselves. We need to nurture ourselves with things that can take us forward, because the real battleground is in our mind. That's where the real fight is. And if we lay down with it, we sleep with it, wherever we go. And sometimes I tell people that, our brain is designed in such a way that it is to keep us safe, but we need to fight for our limitations. We need to stop wasting our energy on what people think about a situation in a country or about you as an individual. It is about what you say about yourself. And for me, that's what boosted me when I was in Malaysia. I had that confidence in me, and I said, I'm going to do something. And even until this day, even if I'm far from Cameroon, I always think about home, not only Cameroon, but even for the region, for the continent, because we are very creative. I've seen so many Africans who are brilliant. We have the tools, we have the resources, the manpower, like I keep saying. We just need to look for a platform where we can harness this energy we have, so that we could co-create solutions that will help our society move forward. We need to have a very brave or mental spirit that is really brave. Like the struggle is in here, brother. So we should not get distracted. We live in an era where there's an overload of information, and this is the time to use it wisely. This is the time to be as disciplined as much as we can. But I tell people not to give up, because today, yes, the power may not be in your hands, but definitely in few hours or tomorrow, it will be in your hands. We're witnessing that even in your country. We're witnessing it in so many countries in Africa. So things are bound to change, because that's how it is. So that's my advice for those. Let's keep working on our mindset, on how we are. Let's connect back with our history. Let's find a purpose, because it's the purpose that drives us towards a particular goal. It's a purpose that wakes us up in the morning. We don't need alarm clocks to wake us up. It's our goals and that purpose that drives us to attain that goal, inshallah. So thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. And
an absolute pleasure is all mine, really. And hopefully, this platform is something that contributes really to this cause of development of the continent and the youth. So it was we need more people like you, definitely, on this platform, to really
like you
tap into it. I'm just a messenger. I appreciate it. Yeah, Iddi, it's an absolute pleasure having you on. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Hopefully you manage to learn the Turkish language the soonest time possible.
Really, man.
Give you the means.
Learning languages.
It's a struggle now. Huh? Now you'll get it sooner. Just I'll give you some advice on how to learn the language much quicker. Yeah, there's some tricks and.
I'm all ears.
Wonderful, awesome. All right, Iddi, bro. It's great having you. Thank you so much. Inshallah. Until next time. Until we meet again. Inshallah. Take care.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.